what I can tell you is unequivocal. Those games are going ahead, and the preparations are very well underway, including on the COVID countermeasures front. So definitely a yes, Jamie.
OK, so the games are going ahead. It's pretty obvious there are going to be some no-shows. Several countries around the world have announced a diplomatic boycott of the games. What impact, if any, will that have?
Political decision made. They should be respected. Now we have moved on, and we're focusing on the athletes, and across all these countries, or including these countries, I should say. You see now the excitement of those that are qualified and those still trying to qualify, because the one thing that was preserved was always the participation of the athletes. So we'll have the best on the field of play, and that is really fundamental.
And what reassurance can you offer for participants and spectators when it comes to hosting a COVID-safe event?
First, one delivered already, and a massive one last summer in Tokyo. So we've learned a lot in this context. And in the meantime, China obviously has refined the work that was done in Japan and adapted to their context, which is different, obviously, with a policy that is not to live with COVID, but to eradicate COVID. So they have incredible measures that are in place. It's very detailed, and the so-called closed loop that we are all going into at the time of the game is going to be a very, very safe place. I should add, though, Jamie, that it's very important that the playbooks, which are the rule of the games when it comes to COVID, are being followed at the time of the games, but probably before as well, because as we heard, the prevalence is huge now in many countries, and we have to make sure that all the future participants, athletes and others, live and abide by the future rules they're going to encounter in the games. This is how to prepare the best for the games.
China keeps saying it wants to host a so-called green games. What does that mean exactly? How important is it that it is a green games?
Well, it means that they had to be innovative in a number of ways, and it's going to be helpful for the next organizing committee. For examples, we have used refrigerants in ice rinks for decades, and they have come up with a much better way and a much more environmentally friendly way to refrigerate the ice. Same for the recovery of water. When you are in a water-scarce region, where you have low precipitations, it's very important that what you pour down to create snow you can recover at the melting season. So these kind of things they have done, including replanting of trees where they had to prepare the slopes. So they've done a tremendous amount of work in this respect. And this will be published in a report coming up on the 15th of January, which is the pre-games sustainability report, where all this will be demonstrated. So quite a number of innovative features that we can reuse in future games.
You're obviously a glutton for punishment because you've just supervised the Tokyo Games. I wonder what lessons you've learned.
My first talking about it were Rio. No easy game either. The lessons that we have learned are many. First, that we can host a safe event in a context that is incredibly complicated. But what it takes is really the participation of everyone, and those rules that I was mentioning are so important. So engagement, communication, responding to questions, clarifying when need be. This is the rule of the games. Sport we can deliver, right? Managing a field of play and complex operations is what organizers have done. Now we all have to live in a context where the rules are different, because on top you have the COVID countermeasures. And it takes really everyone has to contribute in delivering the safety for oneself, but also for the other participants.
Well, we wish you every success, and thank you very much indeed for coming on the programme. Come back and talk to us when it's all over. Good to see you. Christophe Dubi there,
well, anytime.
the International Olympic Committee's Executive Director. Good to see you. Thank you.